Alright. Well, as per usual, of course, we had some technical difficulties. I mean, come on. Let's be honest. When will it ever work the way I want it to work? It never happens. So, I should be here. Y'all should be able to hear me. Alright, so yeah, Streamlabs and YouTube somehow forgot that they were friends, that I had connected them. So, I had to fix that, did that, done that. Alright, so we can do a live stream, a Q&A, a questions and answers. So, how about we just, jump right in a little bit. I see Barry, my moderator. I saw Henrik. I see Laura. Yeah, we've got some very nice people already. Very happy to see. So, yeah, well, let's jump into the questions that were sent yesterday. Because yesterday I asked all y'all on my YouTube channel to leave me, questions and that kind of stuff. So, we'll do a window capture. Y'all disappeared. Window capture. It should have been fixed, but it's fine. We do this. Alright. Bam. See, I fixed everything today. I worked on things. You can leave me a tip. The link is in the pinned comment on the thingamajig. So, there we go. Where did my chat go? My chat just disappeared. Oh, that's fine. I apparently don't need a chat. So, we'll do things. Alright, so, what's my thoughts on the recent Yangshan fossil findings from China? Is it really Denisovan adjacent? And does it mean that Homo sapiens is 1 million years old? Well, first of all, the fossil that they found was not Homo sapiens. A lot of people seem to have misunderstood that from the articles and the publications that came out during that time. So I quickly looked into it, and it's either Homo juluensis or Denisovan, and it's not Homo sapiens. So it does not make our species Homo sapiens 1 million years old because it's not part of our species. It's older, and it belongs to either a Denisovan or Homo juluensis, the big-headed, big-brained, hominins. So those were my thoughts on that. It's very simple to keep understanding that the oldest Homo sapiens fossils that we will find and will continue to find will be found at the continent of Africa, because that's where our species originates from. It's very simple like that. So, next question. What's my favorite alcoholic drink? Well, I had some earlier this week, but apple cider. I like my apple cider. I also like whiskey and rum and vodka. I like a good vodka. Not too mean. Vodka can be way too strong, but it's nice. But yeah, I prefer apple cider. My favorite brands are Bulmers and Kopparberg. So, yeah, just for the people to know. I like apple cider. It's the best. Alright, next question. My favorite human ancestor, Dusty Dipswitch. His is Homo habilis, though perhaps not the first toolmaker, certainly the most accomplished of ancient hominids, instrumental to our survival. My favorite will absolutely be Homo floresiensis from the Indonesian islands. It's the hobbit species. I've made numerous videos now on this species, very enigmatic, and some people believe that they still exist, and that they're still roaming around. I personally don't believe that they are, because we probably would have found them by now, and it's not like they are able to hide themselves away from millions of people. But it's possible. I can't rule it completely out. So yeah. Why did I do this with my screen? I messed up. Why do I always mess things up? Why am I like this? People, say something. Make me not like this. Okay. Good. Alright. Next, how would you suggest some layperson to differentiate between history and pseudo-history? What are some things that you should look out for? A very good question from Anil Rai. So everything in history that's like not pseudo history is verifiable by sources, and not just one source, but like numerous sources. So look at it like this: we have these books here next to me or behind me. Doggerland, Ancient Civilization, The Invention of Prehistory. So this is history. All these books will have their sources listed in the books so that you, as the reader, are able to grab the book, you can read it, and then you can look at the sources and look at the source material that the person who wrote the book used to write the book. And that's science, that's real history. Everything is verifiable, everything has multiple sources. Science, you can't mess up with science when it comes to. So, when you do a scientific experiment, once you've proven something, no matter how many times you do the exact same experiment, the results will be exactly the same. And with pseudoscience and pseudo-history, there are no verifiable sources. The source material is either very wacky, or it's like a publication on a paper that you can just pay for your stuff to be presented there. And that doesn't make it actual science. That just meant that you paid a lot of money to have your paper that you've written with like a lot of claims that are based on nothing and not based on numerous source materials. And yeah, some alternative historians will then point at those papers and say, oh, look, this is the evidence, that's the smoking gun. But it's not. Because that is the only paper that makes those claims, and therefore, if I try to recreate that experiment, you don't come with the same conclusions. So therefore, pseudoscience and pseudo-history sucks. It's very simple like that. So yeah, that's my thoughts on pseudoscience and real history and science and stuff. What is the most intriguing artifact or site you've come across to you personally? Also, which period of history or prehistory do you find the most fascinating? A nice question from Basil. So the most intriguing artifact that I've seen, probably either the schist disc in the Egyptian Museum, as it was just weirdly shaped, and I don't necessarily know how they made it, but it's very intriguing. Another very intriguing artifact are like the at the Taş Tepeler sites in Turkey. You've got all these depictions or statues of guys holding their thingamajigs. Yeah, so those are intriguing, and I've seen some of them with my own eyes. So definitely those, to me personally. And my favorite period of history or prehistory that I find the most fascinating is absolutely the Stone Age. It's probably quite obvious on my channel by now that that is my favorite period. Because honestly, yeah, I can't help it. That's just, it's the Stone Age. It's what I focus on mostly here on the channel. You know what I mean? It's awesome. All right, what's the next? How did you get so interested in archaeology, and how long have you been interested in archaeology? I've mostly been interested in just history as a whole and not necessarily just archaeology. I think I developed my fascination and passion for archaeology as I started to like really research history. And it all started years ago. I watched Outlander. I mean, I've been interested in history since I was like 7. It's fine. I just like history a lot. But really taking it seriously, I think that happened end of 2019, very early 2020. I was watching Outlander. I mean, the stones of the standing stones in that series, beautiful depictions, and yeah, made me research what those stones, like, were they real, the Craig Nadoon stones, and then I found out that it was mostly based on the standing stones of Callanish that were found on the Isle of Lewis and Harris in Scotland. And the location of the stones were on a different stone circle and like megalithic site in Scotland. So I started researching the stones of Callanish, came across this really great report, archaeological survey, 500 pages long. Started reading that, and then from one thing led to another, and I decided I'll just make a script from what I've read here, and I don't know, make it into like a video. And so I did that, and that's how I made my very first YouTube video. And yeah, I've been interested in it ever since, so almost 6 years now. Yeah. Okay, Kelwatt. Which parts of the world and its ancient history would you like to explore or cover but haven't done so yet? Australia, parts of Asia, the Pacific, Africa. It seems there's still so much out there that would be fascinating, even though you most covered Eurocentric stuff. So definitely planning more videos on South America and North America. So Mexico, Peru, like the Incas, the Mayas, the Aztecs, that kind of stuff. I'm also planning a lot more videos on Asian finds. I try to cover most of them, but it's often very difficult to find information because either the papers are like in Chinese or Indonesian, and those are languages that I don't speak. I don't speak Japanese or Korean or Chinese, and sometimes that's the only available languages for these papers. But at the same time, I'm still very interested in them, and whenever I do find a good paper on one of those sites, I absolutely cover it. I mean, I've covered some Asian finds here on the channel, not as much as the European ones, it's very true. But yeah, the European finds and things like that are just way easier to have all the information readily available for me. So that makes it easier. Not that I'm very much centered on European history. Actually, really not. I hope that in the future we will have more finds from like South America, and I don't know, I think Alaska is definitely holding on to some secrets there. Probably Greenland too. It's so cold there. It's so hard to find anything. What ancient site would you most like to travel back in time to see, both being built and the uses it was put to? Karahan Tepe. Without a doubt. My favorite ancient site ever. Karahan Tepe. It's so massive. And not only would I love to be able to see how they built it, but also why they built it. Why did they build such a massive site? And then it was covered and it just looks like a hill in modern times. So, yeah. Yeah. Alright, see if we can have differences between Polynesia and Micronesia, climate, culture, and history. That's probably a subject for a video in the future. That's not something I can, like, answer in this stream. So, yeah. Let's check if everything... I didn't do the window capture. See? I'm already messing up again. It's fine. Forgive me. Forgive me, seriously, but honestly. Sorry. Do you think Göbekli Tepe is an astronomical observation structure, i.e. science, rather than a temple, which it is often referred as? No, I think Göbekli Tepe is absolutely a temple complex. At least the part that we've uncovered up until this point in time. So they're currently excavating higher up on the hill of Göbekli Tepe, and they are finding that they are currently uncovering settlements. So homes where people would have lived. Göbekli Tepe isn't just a temple. It's probably like, I can't say city because then people will jump straight into like civilization, and it's a precursor to civilization. It's pre-pottery Neolithic. So I don't see the creators of Göbekli Tepe and all the other Taştepeler sites as being part of a civilization. But it's a pre-civilization, if you understand what I'm saying, if you catch my drift. Göbekli Tepe, what we have uncovered mostly at this point in time is the temple structures. We have these massive oval buildings with massive T-pillars in the middle, and then surrounded with a wall with T-pillars embedded into it. All these different sections, all these different chambers of this temple complex. You can definitely see that parts of this temple complex were being used for probably things like ritual feastings. That, stuff like that. Yeah, a proto-city. That's what I look at. That's what I see when I look at Göbekli Tepe. It's like a proto-city. Proto-civilization. It's not civilization yet because we haven't found writing. And we haven't found any evidence of an administrative and hierarchical structure of their society. So they were a culture, they were a society, but they were not yet a full-on civilization. That's what that's what I see when I look at Göbekli Tepe. I don't see it as an astronomical observation structure. I don't see it as a scientific structure. I see it as these people were living approximately 12,000 years ago. They had a surplus in food, abundance of food, water. They didn't have agriculture yet, but like proto-agriculture. There were probably some things that were already being, like some plants that they would already planted. Probably some form of early animal husbandry, as in they kept some of the aurochs semi-close to them, not as in completely fenced in and kept as in like animal husbandry, but more in the sense of they kept them close enough so they didn't need to go far away to hunt. That's why they had all the time to build all these structures and things. So I don't see it as a science astronomical observation structure because they had just figured out a way to make survival easier and have the time to build things. And when you look at like the belief systems of hunter-gatherers, it's very nature oriented, like animal oriented. Not necessarily like the heavens and like the planets. It's way more focused on like all the animals living close by and things like that. So I don't see it as an observation structure. Just a temple complex, ritual feastings, and let's be honest, like people hear ritual feastings or rituals or temples and they think immediately like super religious stuff. Celebrating your birthday with friends is a form of a ritual. Hanging out with friends at the pub every week, it's kind of like a ritual. It's very easy like that. Ritual doesn't necessarily have to have all this super strict religious dogma behind it. So, yeah. Let's see if we are still... Okay, back to the window capture. See? I can do this. I can do this. I don't need to be like an idiot, okay? What do you think about those piles of bones of different people they found recently? Kind of weird. John Irby. So, that happened at Cyborg, and I made that video on it. I personally feel like those were probably either ancestors or family members that died, and they most likely kept some of the bones in their own homes. And since this was, probably a lot of people living together closely, and having relationships with each other, so probably a lot of the other homes wanted some of the bones of that deceased person as well. That is probably why you've got all these bones belonging to different people in piles in these houses. It's yeah, it's just strange. It's very strange. If you had a time machine, what point in history would you go to and why? Um, so I don't know if I personally ever want to go back in time. I've got ankylosing spondylitis. Not a fun disease. Absolutely not. Horrid, actually. I don't think I could survive in ancient times. So, do I even want to do that? Do I? If you ask me, like, were I to send like a drone back in time and have like the feed and be able to like watch it, yeah, definitely I would do that. Probably in Stone Age and the Tashtapeller sites, or like the time around the earliest emergence of Homo sapiens in like Morocco, Jebel Irut, definitely something like that. But I would just wanted to view it from like the safe distance and comfort of my own home and couch and things like that. So yeah, I don't think I would ever want to travel back in time. Yeah, no, it's not. Yeah, not for. No, it's not for me. No, I was thinking about it. Let's not do that. All right. What interests you the most when you visit ancient sites? Is it their culture, technology, customs, language, or anything besides these? So it's definitely like the culture that you see, and you can just feel culture, like that ancient culture when you walk somewhere. Definitely like the Egyptian temples, you can feel that very, very strongly. So Karnak Temple, Luxor Temple, Edfu Temple, Kom Ombo, Philae, and of course like the pyramids, the Step Pyramid of Djoser, Pyramid of Unas. I've been into Great Pyramid, awesome. The Sphinx, you can just feel culture as you're there. Same with the Tashtapeller sites in Turkey. And it's knowing that people created these incredible structures thousands and thousands of years ago with so much love and devotion. You can just feel that. And that's what I love most about it. Language is not always like preserved or kept. Technology, I find that a difficult thing to like point at when it comes to like ancient stuff. So like technology, when you look at like ancient technology, spearheads, arrowheads, things like that, stone tools are a form of technology. But when most people mention the word technology when talking about like ancient sites and ancient stuff in the ancient world, they don't mean things like the stone tools and that sort of technology. They often mean the alternative idea of like this highly advanced technology. So that's a difficult one. So I don't really look at that sort of stuff. Mostly I just feel the culture and try to envision what people looked like back in the day when they built this or walked through it. Things like that. Yeah. All right, next question. Was there a specific thing that made you decide that history was going to become your passion? What is your favorite period to study? So it's not... I never decided that history was gonna become my passion. I've always been very passionate about history and the age-old question of where do we come from? Like, from a very, very young age, I would annoy the shit out of my parents, asking them, where do we come from? And like, why are we here? Why are we the way we are? Why do we look the way we look? Why don't I look like someone who was born and raised in like Ethiopia or Mexico or Alaska for that matter? I mean, I look very Dutch European, Northwestern European, but at the same time, why do I look like this? My parents obviously did not really have any answers to give to me in the early 90s. And yeah, not that my parents paid much attention to me anyway, so that's fine. But honestly, it's those questions that kept me up at night just made me want to research things. And then in like high school, history was one of my best subjects. So I continued to do it. Yeah, you know, I just enjoyed history. Never decided it was going to be my passion. It just was, if that makes sense. Yeah. All right. Next, the question. We'll do the window capture again. We'll pretend. Let's all just pretend I'm very professional at this, okay? I'm not. We all know this. I suck at live streaming. That's why I rarely ever do it nowadays. But it's fine. We'll just pretend. Okay? We'll pretend. Alright. Filosofie. My question for you. Is there a lesser-known prehistoric site that you wish people would know more about? A lot of sites in the Middle East have been researched and documented, as are a lot of European ones. But do you know about a site that has been barely touched, but that promises to be very interesting with further research? Well, actually, there's a few. But let's see if I can find this one. Well, it's not one site. It's a lot of sites in... I think it was Saudi Arabia. Yeah, here. Oh, no, that was not what I was looking for. It just looked similar. So I've been like hoarding this discovery or like these papers on these discoveries for a while. Let's say it's nearly been a year. But that's because I prefer to have more information available to me before I look into it. I'm scrolling through my massive list of future possible videos, and it's if you thought I had many, it's way more than you think. It's like this list goes on and on and on and on and it goes on. All right, I think I'm getting close. So, holy shit. I'm looking at, I think I've got like 75 video ideas in this folder here. And I'm scrolling through everything to just find what I'm looking for. But honestly, it's not going well. So, it's because it has a super difficult name. Let me see if I can just do this quicker. Because this is taking too long. I'm just blabbing to just fill the silence, to not have silence. Okay, that's not working. All right, so, yes, there is something like that, but I'll have to look up what the name is, because honestly, it's yeah. All right, so at least we found the person I was looking for, and let's see. I think it is indeed in Saudi Arabia. So you've got like geoglyphs, but they're not geoglyphs. They look like geoglyphs, but they're actually Bronze Age tombs. Let's see. So these have like their own names, and I've just not focused on them. I've been planning to, but So there is some information about these, but at the same time, they're still excavating. So that makes it a little bit more difficult for me to jump on it. So if I just do this, all right, awesome. Nope. Okay, I can't find it. It's fine. So at least it's in Saudi Arabia. They're Bronze Age tombs, and they're incredible. They look amazing, and definitely want to create videos on them. I prefer to have a little bit more information to give to you. So archaeologists are still excavating at these tombs. They're trying to share as much information as they can as they go, as they discover more and more. But yeah, it's a lot of work to go through. Mustatils. That's finally, I found the word. So instead of calling these tombs burial mounds, tumulus, things like that, passage tombs, these ones are called mustatils. I'll type that in the chat. Okay, so that was 5 minutes of Kaylee trying to come up with the word mustatil. Yeah. You're very welcome. I'm an idiot. Nothing none of y'all already didn't know. I mean, come on, let's be honest. We don't have high expectations from me. It's fine. At least I don't have high expectations from myself. Also fine. But yeah, no. Definitely want to focus more on the lesser known sites. The bad thing with that is YouTube is like a search engine. So unless people are like looking for something, it generally doesn't garner much interest, and that sucks. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to, we'll have to see how that goes. Nah, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Yeah. All right. So window capture. And next question. Have you planned your next trip? Where will you take us next? So I have a trip coming up in February, which is not a tour. I'm not co-hosting anything, but I will be going to Peru with two lovely people that joined my tour. Not this year, but like last year in Turkey. And so the three of us are going to Peru, and that's going to be incredible. And that's my next trip, my next adventure. I am, however, doing 2 tours next year. One will be going to Mexico. For those that are interested in that, I am going to plan out the tour later this week, early next week, and then in like 2 or 3, probably 4 weeks, we will have a very exciting announcement for a Mexico tour. Mexico! Viva la Mexico! And that will probably happen around May, June. That time period. And then in September, we are going to Turkey again, because I will be co-hosting these yearly Turkey tours. So if you haven't been able to join me in Turkey in the past 2 years, you can join me next year in September. The dates for the Turkey tour are not completely set in stone, so therefore we haven't made an official announcement yet, but I think I have shared the link for that here and there a little bit, maybe. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Why? Why did we do that? Why did we do that? No idea. Right, so as you can see, 10-day tour, date to be announced in 2026, most likely, probably, will happen in September. Yeah. September is going to be the best month for that kind of stuff. Best weather. So, yeah. You want good weather for this stuff. So, yeah. All right. Why did this change? Where did everything go? I don't know. Ah, okay. So yeah, we were here. I was like, what? All right. So no idea what is happening in the chat, but it's fine. The chat's not of my concern at the moment. So, yeah, you can join me either in Mexico or in Turkey, Mexico or Turkey. It's your choice, and I'll probably make videos again, as per usual, shorts and all that stuff. And from my Peru visit and trip, I will absolutely make shorts from that as well, and hopefully be able to like make a lot of footage for future videos, because of course I want to cover the Incas a lot more on my channel. The Incas are dope. So have we been here longer than what they tell us? I would like to know. Well, I can't tell you. I mean, I wish the Smithsonian would just pay me a whole lot of bucks so that I wouldn't have to be like, you know, poor. But it's fine. But yeah, no, the big archaeology and all that stuff. Nah, it's not hiding anything for you. They wish. I mean, come on. The archaeologists would have way more money if that was the case. So, yeah. Not a history question, but I was wondering, how is your health? I know you've bravely faced some challenges in the past few months. Well, yeah. I mean, hasn't been easy. So, yeah, no. I've got ankylosing spondylitis. Most people watching me by now will know this. I just started injections for that. It's a biological medication that is going to kind of, you know, turn off my immune system that's overactive and attacking my own body. Not much fun. Causing inflammation everywhere. So, yeah, we shall see how that goes. We are currently in a testing phase for like 3 months to see if it does anything, if we can see improvement in my blood, in like how high my inflammations are or not. We'll see. If it goes well, we continue this treatment. If it doesn't do what we had hoped, we will try a different kind and go from there. So, yeah, we'll have to see. Besides that, I'm doing kind of okay. I'm trying. Very fatigued. I'm tired very quickly. I've not been able to create enough videos as I wanted to. But I've got a fun collaboration with another YouTuber coming on, and hopefully that drops soon. It's been postponed a couple times, but that's fine. That's it's life. I've also got a couple sponsorships that I need to create videos for, because, you know, bills like to be paid, unfortunately, which is fine, and we will keep doing that. And yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm just chugging along. It's all we can do, right? Super invasive personal question. Crunchy or smooth peanut butter? I don't eat peanut butter at all. I ate peanut butter on my sandwiches for 9 years straight, every single day when I grew up in my mom's house. And it made me gag from just the smell of peanut butter. It makes me gag, and it's nasty, and I never, ever, 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 ever want to eat peanut butter again. So, ew. Ew, 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 ew. Are you dropping any merch soon? Yes. Yes, I am. So I am currently working on Turkey merch. So I hear you think, what the hell does that mean? Turkey merch. So think about, like, let me go this way. Think about like this stuff. A T-pillar with like the fox, from Building D, on a t-shirt. Or like on a hoodie on like the sleeves. T-pillar on a sleeve. Things like that. So I'm making merch. I'm working on merch. There's just the one silly thing. It's just me, myself, and I, I don't have the funds to hire people to create designs for me. So I just have to do it myself. Which means that I'm very slow. And probably everything will suck. But that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. But yeah, I'll continue to work on merch. And I hope to have merch around end of November. At least 2 or 3 designs that you can buy. And hopefully you'll receive them before Christmas. Yeah. Tactile. I don't know what that means. What's tactile on a t-shirt? Do I really want to Google this and show people? What does tactile? That you can feel it. I'm not sure. Probably not, because I do my merch through a friend of mine that arranges everything for me, because I'm a dummy and I'm in the Netherlands, and a lot of people are like in the US, so therefore I have someone in the US doing my merch. What about a tea brand collab with a product called Cleese T-pillar? Oh my god, oh. Henrik, hit me up on Discord. We need to have a conversation about that. That was too good. That's, nope. We're gonna have a good talk about that. Do you see a point in the future where you explore Asian archaeological sites? Yeah, definitely. I have covered some here and there. It's just, like I said earlier, it's often very difficult to find the information in a language that I speak. It's difficult. So, if I find information, I can use that for a video, then I will make a video. It will probably also be currently I make one video for one discovery, and there might be future videos where I will lump 2 or 3 discoveries together in one video, because honestly, some of these sites are awesome, but there's just not much information that I can use. So, yeah, I'll try. What is my favorite find or discovery this year? The Karahan Tepe face. So, for those who have no idea what I'm talking about, while I was in Turkey, we had the human statue discovered in Göbekli Tepe. And then, so this face was discovered at Karahan Tepe after I went back home. It's incredible. And yes, this is definitely my favorite find of the year. So yeah, that was a very easy question. Favorite find or discovery this year from Bob Miller. Awesome. My favorite trip ever. Thank you for the donations. By the way, sorry. Yes, I'm very slow with things. But yes, thank you for the donations. Very kind. Where was I? My favorite trip ever so far. So that's between Turkey and Egypt. Egypt was magical, but it lasted 5 weeks, which is very, very long. A bit too long for me and my health. Done Turkey twice now. So, climbing Mount Nemrut or climbing the Great Pyramid. It's equally awesome. Very different. My favorite trip so far. For now, it's a tie between Egypt and Turkey. Because Turkey has been magical, but Egypt itself is magical already. So, yeah. Good question. That's a good question, and I don't have an answer, and I'm so sorry for that. All right, let's see if we have anything else. Has there been any new translation of the ancient scrolls of Mount Vesuvius? Oh, I think you meant, yeah. Like the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, the Pompeii Herculaneum scrolls. Not that I know of, besides what I covered in my video on they found Plato. You know, they translated the scrolls using AI and stuff like that, and they think they found the location of Plato's resting place. So yeah. Besides that, I don't know. Which ancient civilization is my favorite? Everyone will expect me to say Egypt. And yeah, yes and no. I also very much like the Inca civilization, the Mayas, the Aztecs, the Olmecs. They were incredible too. My favorite, yeah. That's a... I also like the Hittites a lot. I really like the Hittites. So, we'll put it on Hittite for today. Yeah. Will you get around to study around the peopling of North and South American Polynesia? Yeah, like I said earlier, definitely working on that. Have you heard of Ben Bacon and the work he's been doing on markings found on the walls alongside prehistoric cave paintings that seem to be indicators of some type of knowledge keeping about the animals that were depicted? Yeah, I have actually, because I covered that in a video when it was first announced and found and like shared with the public that this was a thing. So yeah, I have heard about that and it was awesome. All right, good thing. Those weren't questions. What will be your next great expedition? Well, that one I already answered. So this is what I have here on the YouTube channel from the people that were able to ask questions. We can refresh it once more and see if there's anything new. But yeah, it's the same amount of comments, so that's fine. Sort by newest. Yep, nope, that was the questions we've had there. Then on my Discord, we had a couple people in the server. What is the coolest ancient site that you have visited? That, my friend, is Karahan Tepe. Without a doubt, Karahan Tepe is the most awesome site that I have visited. And on a very, very close second place, almost nearly tying it with Karahan Tepe, let's be honest, is Sayburç. Those two are incredible, amazing, and I think that they will definitely change our entire perception of the hunter-gatherer society, proto-civilization that created these structures and proto-cities. Massive settlements. It's incredible. So that's my favorite, coolest ancient site I have visited. Then, what is your favorite thing about Neanderthals? Or Neanderthals? I'm not good at that, at the whole correct pronunciation on Neanderthals. Just not that great about it. But my favorite thing about Neanderthals probably is the fact that they created art, stone circles, and the Bruniquel cave, and they had their own artistic expressions, either in their clothes, the way that they created ornaments, musical instruments, things like that. So these were humans, just like you and me, very much like us. And that's definitely my favorite thing about Neanderthals. Would I rather go on a date with a Neanderthal, a Denisovan, an Erectus, or a Hobbit? None. I prefer Homo sapiens, even though we are a very flawed species. So yeah. Who would win in a fight? Vikings or samurais? Elaborate. So That's a good question. Who would win in a fight? Vikings or samurais? If you were to ask me Vikings or Celts, it would have been equally as difficult. I think the samurais were a bit like later, younger, so their metal stuff. When did the samurais exist? Let's at least look that up. When did a samurai live? 12th century. And when did Vikings live? Oh, okay. So the samurais indeed are a little bit younger than the Vikings. So their metalworks, like their weapons, probably would be of a higher quality because, it's a little bit later. Looking at like brutality and that kind of stuff, definitely Vikings. The Vikings were just, brutal, brutal people. They came to the Netherlands and they met with the Frisians and the West Frisians and very quickly decided, we'll just trade with you guys. Yeah, well, let's just trade. Let's not kill each other because it'll be a 50-50 split. And it's, we need the people. You need the people. So we were good warriors as well. So the Vikings were also very smart when it comes to like, do we really want to try and wipe out this entire people, like this civilization, when it costs us nearly as much? So yeah, Vikings, often people just look at Vikings as just raiders, but they weren't just raiders. There was so much more into it. Dying on the battlefield and going to Valhalla was the best thing you could do as a Viking. So they would go up until death, last breath, everything. So yes, there was still that same sort of devotion for the Vikings as well. It's just that the Japanese, the samurais, their weaponry is of so much higher quality than the Vikings. And they probably had like some protective armor that was better than the Vikings as well. So therefore brute strength won't necessarily definitely help you. I want to go with Vikings. But realistically speaking, probably samurai. I just vote for Vikings because I like the Vikings and their absolute brute force, which is awesome. So yeah. Okay. All right. Well, when you talk about like Attila the Hun, the samurais never faced Attila the Hun. I was like, this is... Attila died in 453, and the samurais emerged about 600, nearly 700 years later. So, no. My ancestors, however, the Hermanduri tribe, it's a Germanic tribe near the Thuringen area, they fought the Huns and they won. So, and therefore I'm very aware of when Attila the Hun existed because, my ancestors fought against the Huns and won. And they also fought against Attila and won. Yay! Good ancestors. And they created me, and I've got ankylosing spondylitis and everything shit in my body. Something went wrong there, honestly. Really, something definitely went very wrong there. I will go and look into the chat, because I saw that there were some questions earlier in the chat. even though I focused mostly on like everything that happened earlier. So we can see what the chat has asked me, and therefore I won't be able to respond to the chat for a minute. But it's only going to be a hot minute, people. It's going to be a hot minute. Okay. 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 Mm-hmm. All right. All right. Do you like Netherlands? Okay, wow. I like the food in the Netherlands, yes, but mostly because I'm born and raised in the Netherlands, so therefore it's the food I grew up with. I just created like this kale mash that's like a traditional Dutch dish. I ate that yesterday and it's lovely. It's called boerenkool. It's awesome. Let's see, what else do we have? Is your sister regularly fact-checking your videos? My sister does nothing with my channel or my work or anything. My sister is a paleontologist. She focuses on like dinosaurs and extinction events. My channel is focused on human evolution and mostly the Stone Age. Way too young for what she does. She never fact-checked me. She doesn't need to, and I don't want her to either, so she has her job, I have my work, and it's fine. What is your opinion on the most overrated and underrated historical sites? Most overrated, probably like the Eiffel Tower. Most overrated. It's a tower, it's steel, there's lights, it flickers. Wow. I don't really feel drawn to Paris whatsoever at all. Underrated historical sites are definitely the Taştepeler sites in Turkey, and I hope that tourism will ramp up in the upcoming like decades, because honestly, it's incredible, and people need to see that with their own eyes. I don't know much about the Bronze Age collapse, so there's a question here, did Britain experience any fallout from the Bronze Age collapse, or did it pass without impact? My focus is mostly on the Stone Age, and I sometimes cover topics from like the early Bronze Age. I've never looked into the Bronze Age collapse, because to me, in my opinion, it's just a little bit too young. This sounds so wrong for a lot of people. I've had this conversation a couple times in my life now, where people are like, the Bronze Age collapse is too young for you? Like, what? But yeah, no, sorry. Sorry. It's Stone Age. It's this. You know? This is it. Love it. Thank you for the donation. Very nice, very nice. Question. How come humanity evolves technically but not humanitarily? Still warring, still separating nationalities, still thinking one nationality is better than another, etc. It's ego. So somewhere along the lines, people started getting like a bigger ego, and so they were more self-centered and no longer group-centered. And once you lose your group centrability, that's probably not an English word, but you'll probably get the gist of what I'm referring to here. I'm Dutch. My brain's fried. It's fine. Fatigue is already kicking in. But when our egos and our me culture, and we lost our sense of trade and working together for a common goal, and it became a very self-centered society that we currently live in. It's all about me. It's all about, I want to get rich, and you don't care that you become rich over the backs of other hardworking people. It's not my style. It's not who I am. So I prefer to I like to pay my bills, but besides that, I don't necessarily need much. I just want to have a good life, and that's it. I don't necessarily need to become like a millionaire, you know? Who would you rather fight? 1 T-Rex sized Klee or 2 Klee sized T-Rexes? Henrik, why? Why are you asking the chat this? I don't want to fight myself in any form. All right. I don't do any AI generated posts ever. I don't like it. So, what do you think happened to the Neolithic farmers of Britain when the bell beaker culture arrived? Why do you think so many disappeared from the genetic record? So there's a high probability that they were, killed off. The bell beakers came in and they were like, this is ours now. It's also very possible that the bell beakers brought in some diseases that the Neolithic farmers living on the land were more susceptible to, and therefore died off. It's a good question. I've not looked into it, so I probably need to do that one day. I might come back to that one day in the future. Let's see. Simple question. How were the pyramids built? So I highly recommend looking up Wally Wallington, great name, on YouTube, and he will show you how the pyramids were probably built, just like all the other megalithic structures. So, yeah. How are you? What have you been doing recently? Getting my first injections and feeling very fatigued, sleeping for about 10 hours a night and waking up feeling like I've not slept at all. Brain fried, body hurts. It's fun. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. It's a thing, but it's gonna be fine. And I'm working on videos in the meantime in the background, but I've not been able to finish a script and therefore film. But I'm working on it. So yeah. What inspired you to make historical videos? I just love history, and I was on disability pay in early 2020 still. Very depressed, not happy with my life, and not felt like I was doing anything productive with my life, and therefore I decided to research things and then write scripts and make videos and see if I can be a little bit more productive with my life. And apparently that worked. So yeah. What is your take on the Roman dodecahedron? What do you think its purpose was? I like the idea of that one woman that said it was to create mittens, like things like that. Yeah. In Dutch, it's called a hand shoe, a glove. Okay, fine, a glove. Finally, my head was like, "What's the English word for it?" And I was like, "Handschoen." Oh no, that's Dutch. Hand shoe. Oh no, glove. See. We eventually arrive at the same thing. It's fine. Are Aborigines the most pure Denisovan lineage? They look and act so different from us. So the Aborigines, the Aboriginals, and the Polynesians have the highest percentage of Denisovan DNA within their genomes. Some people think that that's why they have these very strong different features from, let's say, a European-looking person. So yeah, it's possible, but so Aboriginals and the Polynesians both have this. And I think the highest percentages in total are found in the Polynesian people. And Papua New Guinea, I think, they had the highest percentage, the Papua New Guineans. So yeah, it's very possible. Do you still believe human life originated in Africa or also in Asia? Oh no, so I've created this whole video on the Out of Africa Theory Explained, which has numerous migrations out of Africa. And we have some instances where it seems to be an out of Africa, back into Africa, out of Africa, other species out of Africa, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely still believe that human life originated in Africa. Do all of our ancestors originate from Africa? Not sure, because you've got the European Miocene apes that may have led and like migrated into Africa and may have led to the Australopithecines. It's possible. How was my time in Scotland? Wow, that's a long time ago. I went to Scotland in 23, July of 23. It was lovely. I was there for 5 days, went through the Highlands with like this tour bus and went to a distillery. Of course, I like whiskey. I went to Aberfeldy and it was lovely. Would you consider doing your own academic research? Well, I feel like I'm already sort of kind of maybe doing that a little bit. But I'm actually, if you can see behind me, these folders are for my study at home. And I started a study a few months ago, and I'm going to study to become a realtor. Has nothing to do with history, because I feel like I want to have a plan B in life, but also I enjoy homes, selling homes, building homes. I wanted to become an architect earlier when I was younger. Didn't work out like that, but I might become a realtor and like work 1 or 2 days a week as a realtor and help people find their dream home. But I don't think I necessarily want to do my own like academic research, or as in like a thesis or a PhD. I've got ADD. I don't think that's a good combination to write a PhD. It's like, let's not do that. How do I feel about the Saruti Mastodon site in San Diego? I did a video on that. There is talk that they're going to excavate to try and get more data. If more data comes out on the Saruti Mastodon site, I will definitely make a follow-up video and look into it. Absolutely. Because it's a very intriguing site, and the two camps of this is for sure not anything to do with humans, and this is for sure evidence of human involvement. They're very, very, very strongly opinionated, and it's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I kept, in my video, I leaned towards I don't necessarily see evidence of human interference, but at the same time I tried to keep that open-minded and like open to let you make up your mind as much as I could. Yeah. Things like that. All right, so let's see. Do we have something more? Let's see if we have any other questions. That's more people talking to each other in the chat, and that's not really something I can answer. Peru is one place I want to go to. Sacsayhuaman. Yes, I'm gonna go to Sacsayhuaman. And Ollantaytambo, Machu Picchu, Pisac. It's gonna be awesome. All right, we're closing in on the last bit of the chat, which is way easier. If you had the choice between eating a magical fruit that gives you the ability to understand or speak all languages ever, or one that lets you travel to any point in time at will, which would you choose? Give me the languages. Like I said earlier, I don't necessarily want to do all the time travel. If I were to go and like want to do time travel, I only want to go into the future. Because maybe they have a cure for ankylosing spondylitis, which would be nice. Then I don't need to suffer anymore. But just give me the languages. I would very much enjoy being able to speak more languages than I do. Because right now, it's Dutch and English. And I speak West Frisian, which is a dialect. And I don't even speak that like fluently. I can speak it, but like it's a dead language at this point. And I mean, I can pronounce things in other languages, but I have no idea what the hell I'm saying. So yeah. Um, yeah, a lot of people want me to look into like fungi and all that stuff, but I'm allergic to mushrooms and all types of fungi, spores, and that kind of stuff. So therefore, I'm like, nah, do I really want to look into that and like understand that even if it has like some benefits, I could never really, reap the benefits. So, um, do we have any more questions? We'll probably go for another couple minutes, but yeah. Um. Have you seen the stone carvings of the bearded people at La Venta? Let's see if we can look that up. La Venta bearded people? Bearded people at La Venta. Oh, those. Yeah, I've seen those before. Those are awesome. Okay, so, for the people that have no idea what the hell I'm looking at, hi, let me bring you along. So this is like this stuff. La Venta Park, Tabasco, Mexico. Really awesome. So, I have seen them, just, didn't really attribute it to that point in time and all that stuff. But it's really cool. What else do we have? Have you looked into the linguistic theory of migration? I have not. When do you think we first started, or like first began wearing clothes? A long time ago. I don't think our species was the first one to like create clothes. Yeah. So there's a lot of like one person that's I don't know, a little bit. Okay, so thankfully that was already fixed. Good. So now I can look into questions. Whew. Do you enjoy any music that sounds ancient, as if it's from the historical places you study? Yeah, I do, actually. There's also this band, I think it's called Heilung, and they create music, and they use these ancient writings that they found, and those are then their lyrics, and the music itself sounds very old pagan ritualistic, and their concerts aren't necessarily seen as like concerts, but they're seen as like rituals, and that's awesome. So yeah, definitely enjoy that. uh, the theory of using sound to move massive stones, it's a lovely theory, but based on nothing. And I definitely recommend looking up Wally Wallington on YouTube. I typed it in the chat for those that want to, look into it. But highly recommend doing that, because there you can actually find evidence of how they created the ancient structures and all that stuff. Awesome. People who have tasted peanut butter and don't like it are aliens. Well, then, I'm an alien. I've eaten it for like 9 years straight. So there was a point in time where I did like it. But then it was the only thing I was able to eat, and therefore I don't like it anymore. Have you ever visited China? No, I haven't. Do you have any good YouTube video recommendations that give a comprehensive review of its history? I also don't really know how to answer that. I've never been to China, and I've never looked into that type of like history thoroughly before. So It's a good question, but at this point in time, I do not have an answer. Maybe in a future live stream, I will have a better answer for this. Klee, if mods were to do a Louvre-style heist, what historical artifact do you most want? Honestly, I will just be a bitch and say the Mona Lisa. It has this massive room just for itself, and I just, now I just want it. So, steal the Mona Lisa for me. But seriously, don't. Which injectable biologic medication are you on? I'm currently on Hiraimos. So, it's a adalimumab injectable. Really? What extinct animal would you revive? If I were to have the option of reviving any extinct animal, it would either be the Tasmanian tiger, because it completely died out because of us, or I think it's the white rhino that went extinct a few years ago. Was it the white rhino? Yeah, I think the white rhino went extinct. Or not. Did it not go extinct yet? Oh, the white rhino is the one that did not go extinct. Okay, good. So it's the... Oh yeah, no, it is, actually. The death of the last male northern white rhino. So, them. The northern white rhino. I would bring those back. I was like, did I not remember that correctly? My brain used to, be able to bring... historical realtor, yeah. Maybe you can sell Hunebeds. Can you see me sell a dolmen for like $1 million or something? Euros, of course, but still, I just go to one of the dolmens in the Netherlands. We've got 54 of them. I'll just sell you a dolmen. Enjoy. Go live in it. Do you play Baldur's Gate 3? No, I do not. I play a lot of games. Not as many nowadays, but God of War, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Origins, Odyssey, all the older Assassin's Creed games. I play The Witcher 3, Skyrim, the Tomb Raider games, of course, the new ones, the old ones. So, yeah. So I started playing, what was it? The Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. Difficult game, man. Difficult game. I probably need to just play that and stream it, and so then we all can just fuck up and try and get my monkeys to civilization. I actually might need to do that, because I, for the life of me, cannot understand how to continue in the game. I'll probably make a new account and just, start from scratch, and then we might be able to play that together. So yeah, Heilung Hype. Yeah, I like Heilung. Do you know about Genevieve von Petzinger's work cataloging what looked like symbols on cave walls? Yeah, I have heard of Genevieve von Petzinger, and I think I have made 1 or 2 videos where I mentioned her. But yeah, I see that thoughts on the HE calendar. Henrik, you need to DM me about that, because I tried to Google it, and Google was like, what? With the who, the what now? So I didn't really help me. May I ask, where did you study history, or is it research on your own? I'm a high school dropout. So this comes as a shock for some that watch me, but I am an absolute high school dropout. I have no formal education when it comes to anything. I literally stopped after high school. I went and studied architecture and construction for a year or 2 before, the global recession hit and all the construction companies in the Netherlands went bankrupt, and none of them wanted a lady as an intern, and so therefore my studies ended. And then after that, I had my tailbone removal surgery and I became disabled. I've got nerve damage now. So, yeah, no. I did not research anything. This is all independent research. And, of course, I like my books. Who's the best fictional adventurer archaeologist? Indiana Jones, Lara Croft, or Sidney Fox? I personally just want to say Lara Croft because she was awesome. Yeah, no. Lara Croft. I'll go with Lara Croft. Yeah. I'm that kind of person. Like, what about the dodo? I like the dodo, but it's been gone for a while now, and I'm not sure if the current day Australian climate would be suitable for the dodo because it's currently like hot, extremely hot. And back when the dodo was still alive, it wasn't that extremely hot. So I'm not sure if like it's feasible for the dodo to even survive nowadays. So yeah, I like the dodo, but I prefer either the northern white rhinoceros because it just got extinct. And we still have a few females left, so there's a chance that we might be able to bring it back. But the Tasmanian tiger, I mean, come on, it's extinct for about 100 years now, fully went extinct because of humans, and the fact that we shot all of them for their beautiful fur. They deserve to come back. So, yeah. Alright, do you think that ancient humans communicated by telepathy? The Aborigines still do that. I'm not sure if I fully believe in telepathy. I believe in non-verbal communication, and there are many forms of non-verbal communication. But like telepathy, not so much. No, not so much. I don't think so. Have you been to the Eye of the Sahara Richat structure? It's not a structure, but no, I've never been to the Richat in the Eye of Sahara. No. Not only is it very difficult to get there, it's very expensive. And I'm driving a car from like 2009 and my air condition doesn't work and my display doesn't work and I don't even have a radio in it. If I had the money to go to the Richat, I would probably drive a nicer car. Sorry. Very simple. So, honestly, I think that was the questions and answers. I think we almost did an hour and a half. Today is also the birthday of my lovely lady cat. She has turned 11 years old. And I still can't comprehend the fact that she is 11. 11 years ago, on this day, at 21:21 on the clock, she was born on my hand. I bottle fed her and brought her to the emergency vet 3 times in the tiny span of 6 weeks. And she is very tiny, and she's my lovely lady. And we have to go to sleep in like half an hour. That means that I have only half an hour left to cuddle with her on her birthday. Most of the day I spent today cuddling with her. But I mean, come on, she's 11, all right? So happy birthday, Lila. Everyone in the chat, say happy birthday, Lila. You can see a picture of her on my Instagram stories. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you have the ability to leave a tip or become a channel member or a patron, consider doing so. If you leave a tip through the link that is pinned here in the chat box, you don't give a portion to either YouTube or Patreon. Everything goes to me directly, which is nice. And otherwise, you can do channel membership or patron on Patreon. I mean, feel free. And I will have more announcements soon on the Mexico tour of spring next year, and of course more on the Turkey tour in September of next year. And also, hello Jonna Miller, she was in Turkey with me. last month. So yeah, that's already a month ago. Holy hell, time flies. So I will say happy birthday to Lila from all y'alls. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video, which will probably be released this weekend if my brain stops being fried and fatigued. But if all goes well, this weekend. Either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We shall see. And I'll see you all next time. Right? Bye.